Welcome to another episode of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Descent into Avernus, where we first do introductions and then we do a recap and then we get on with the game. So let's start with Kashcah.
Hi, I'm DM for this campaign. I can't remember what episode. What episode are we? How many?
33.
33, wow.
33 glorious episodes of death,
wow.
destruction, and hellfire.
Chaos.
No PvP. So, let's continue.
No PvP, you say. You killed me once almost.
Not hellfire PvP. It's a different person. So, if you go down and to the left of...
Anything coming from you seems disingenuous till now.
We have Nightcaste.
Hi, I am Nightcaste. I'm playing Malvola. He is a warlock, dragonborn, and hoping we don't end up killing each other.
That would be very good. Next time we have Shy.
Hi, I'm Shy. I'm playing as Coyra, a half-elf druid, and one of the first victims of Palkas. Also, I've learned that I've been playing D&D for 33 weeks now.
You're still alive, so you aren't among the first victims of Palkas.
Well, I kind of was.
So next to Shy, we've got Nobi.
I'm NobiGit. I'm playing Grimm, a shifter, holy monk of sorts, who has twice been a victim of Palkas' spells. Somebody needs to turn friendly fire off.
Nobody counts the number of times they've benefit from his spells. Jeez.
I feel like we need a support group here.
Have
Have you been a victim of spells cast by Palkas the Half-Elf?
Alright, next time. Excuse me. We've got Tim.
Hi, I'm Ghostwoods, and I'm playing Thorn, an elven gloomstalker ranger, who's definitely not keeping count of any times anyone's nearly killed him.
There we go. This is why he's so close with him.
Except with missed opportunities.
Yes. So I'm Vallen. I will be playing as Palkas Jazz Hands. And he's
the one that kills us all.
Hey, he's a wild magic sorcerer that sometimes has explosive bouts of diarrhea that may affect the party in a negative manner. So people call it magic, though. So yeah. Oh, and he's a half orc, and there you go. So
And currently sporting a fine beard of feathers.
oh
Magnificent.
shoot.
Magnificent.
You're right.
Feathers, yep.
You're right. We'll get into that after I read the recap. I'll re-roll for
That was
for
a self-inflicted one.
It was, but it was a fun one, especially since I've passed every freaking Constitution check I've made since then regarding the beard. So yeah, last episode 32, called Scavenger Hunt, we reunited in the Hellwasp Hive, meaning all of the party reunited in the Hellwasp Hive, and found and freed Lulu, who is our guide and celestial helper, who is thankfully still alive and somewhat safe. During the rescue, Grimm was exploded upon by a mass of Hellwasp grubs that he was trying to eliminate. But we were able to escape relatively unscathed, short of Malvola slipping on the chain on the way out of the hive. After a rest and discussion, we left on our way to an... Oopses happen, you know. We left on our way to a new destination.
Happy accidents, really.
Happy accidents. As Lulu remembered more about her past as a Mount of Zerial. Craziness. Malvola and Palkas tried to investigate the items that were found in the hive during their rest, and found a helm of smarty pants, some medical supplies, and a magical wand of magical missiles. The group chose the place of where the demons were drawn to and killed as the next clue that Lulu gave us. And we're all now level 8, and episode 33 begins, Demon Zapper. And let's see if
For
I
a
can.
moment I thought I forgot to level up. Because you mentioned level 8. I'm like, wait, what?
No, we did that like a couple episodes ago. Like 17 episodes ago. No. Let's see. Constitution save.
Oh, still good, I think.
Yep.
No sneezes.
Nope. My DC that I'm aiming for is 10, by the way.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. I agree with that.
Which is still going to be difficult because he's got a +6. So.
What was the spell Palkas cast at the end of the rest? I'm looking at the note in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
Yep.
want to take that away? Palkas.
Which actually I need to roll the D100 is what I need to roll. Forgot about that.
Yeah, see if it actually happens.
See if
you
the
may
spell
never
even
know.
happens. Yeah. Wild Magic Surge D100. That's not what I'm rolling. I need to roll a D20. Let me just roll a D20. Sorry.
No, it says roll a D100. Doesn't say anything
It
about
does
it.
say roll a D100.
Oh, that's right, because
You were, if
There's
I
an
recall
auto
correct,
or something.
Yeah, and you were gonna trigger it. Something like that, on purpose.
Yeah. The roll is to see whether whatever spell it was you were casting gets hijacked by the surge, or whether the surge is just an adjacent thing as well.
right. I'm just trying to see. Did I rolled an Arcana, a Constitution save. I don't see where I rolled.
No. What I think you said after we ended last session is that you were gonna cause the wild surge to happen but safely away from us.
No, because
But I might be mistaken.
I thought we were going to rest.
I have no idea then. That's as good as I can remember. I was always sleeping.
And then at the end of the rest, roll 1d100 for Palkas spell cast at the end of the rest. Because I don't have anything
It's true, it would be at the end of the rest.
where I rolled a d20.
So you would, all your stuff would have reset, so you wouldn't have the like tides of chaos going on or whatever the heck that thing is.
Right. So let me just roll a d20. And if it's a 1, then we're all in trouble.
Boring.
Oh, that's what I was saying. I was going to cast the spell, but I was going to cast it further away from people and not inside the van.
Yeah.
Inside the van.
So when we come to a stop and we've got some time, Palkas is going to want to cast a spell safely away from
Well,
the
you
party.
guys were resting,
So
so you have stopped.
oh, okay. Well, that works. Then in that case, I'll just do the d20.
Okay.
Please remind me, what was the D20 for again?
That's to see if I actually do a wild magic surge because I'm casting a spell.
You do not. I'm thoroughly disappointed.
I do not. There goes one of my spells. Kashcah?
What?
What happens?
Right. So you're casting the spell, and hang on, let me grab the spell to see if there's any flavor that I need to add to this.
Truth be told, I'm not really sure what happens either.
Okay. So it does take like an hour. So whoever's up kind of with Palkas for this section of the watch.
I think it was Malvola because he was helping me identify stuff.
Okay. So yeah, Palkas kind of goes into this trance for the last hour of the watch. And you see like as it kind of progresses, right? So like half an hour goes by and it just looks like he's like almost like he's sleeping, right? So and then kind of this flickering kind of presence or image appears close by Palkas. So wait, you're sitting outside to do this, like away from the. So I don't know how close you would be to see this, but
Probably 40 feet away.
so this flickering kind of image or presence appears close to Palkas, and it looks like it's gonna take the form of like a bird for a second. Like it looks like a fairly large bird, but then it starts kind of flickering, like, and it's almost like a misty shape of a bird to begin with, but then it starts like flickering and shimmering and kind of shifting and takes the feathered wings become are replaced by these kind of leathery looking wings. And as the hour continues to progress and Palkas continues to concentrate on this spell, you can see the image becomes more real and more solid. And you can see quite clearly, actually, towards the end of the hour, that the thing that is manifesting next to Palkas actually looks like an imp. So I don't know if you want to do anything with that, Malvola, but yeah, at the end of the hour, this imp kind of is thoroughly manifested and is kind of moving towards Palkas. So Palkas, you Palkas, you kind of you finish casting and kind of break out of your trance, expecting to find a raven, I think. Right? It's what you had settled on.
Something like that.
But instead, in its place, like you can kind of, while you've been casting, you can sense this consciousness kind of coming into existence or being summoned, like within your kind of vicinity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can sense it, and it doesn't seem like a malevolent kind of being, right? And within your trance, it seems like it's going to be a raven, and then you open your eyes, and this thing still has that like same presence within your mind, but actually looks like an imp.
So when Palkas opens his eyes, he looks very calm and peaceful. Usually like he's wearing his cap or something like that, but typically that's only when he's wearing his cap that he's calm and peaceful. But he opens his eyes and he just kind of like a bit of a start, seeing the imp kind of like hovering before him, and he looks really confused, and he just kind of reaches a hand out to it, and then realizes, like the recognition just kind of washes over his face as it reaches out to touch his hand as well, and he says, "Truly, this is a strange place." And
yeah, or kind of like when you reach out your hand, it kind of does that little hop towards you off its two back legs. It's like hopping forward towards you, and then will kind of reach out and grab your hand with its little clawed imp hand.
And he'll just kind of have it, stand upon his hand and talk back and forth telepathically with it for a bit, as you can. Excuse me. And
it is tugging on your beard. It's like
the feathers aren't held in very well, I don't think. It's just he hasn't, So he'd probably come away with a few feathers, I would imagine. Maybe it's up to you.
Got this tiny bald spot.
The beard is now mutton chops.
Yeah. So
Or it looks more like a Fu Manchu.
He'd look over to Malvola, who is probably the other one that's up at this point. The other's probably just starting to come round, I would guess.
Did you make a friend?
He'd say, "I summoned a familiar.
Neat.
This isn't her normal shape. But nonetheless, I'm happy to have her here. An extra set of eyes." And he says, her name is Una. Not Uno, Una. It's not a card game. And question for you, Kashcah.
Yes.
Does it possess the normal abilities of an imp familiar?
Yep. It's just like an imp familiar.
Okay. So then it probably climb up on his shoulder and poof, invisible. And then he'd say we should probably wake the others. I'd imagine it's time to get going.
We've only been here for like 2 hours.
It's been it was the end of the rest, right? Were we at the beginning of the watches? I don't remember. Because I couldn't cast the spell until after we've rested, so that was the whole thing.
Okay, well, then that sounds... Yeah, I guess let's get everybody going.
Everybody wake up.
Don't wanna.
Too bad.
Because I don't remember where I am.
In the trunk.
I think that might be true.
The thing's got like 3,000 pounds of cargo capacity. It's not like a small trunk.
I think I remember falling asleep in one of the seats.
I'm just
First thing Coyra does when she wakes up is just look in the bag. Just in case there's 2 more balls in it.
There are now, yes.
Coyra proudly says, yet another day has passed.
Palkas says that's been what? 1?
2.
2 days? We've been here
Yes.
2 days. Okay.
Gee, that means my circlet's usable again.
Yeah, that's Coyra's way of keeping somewhat track of time.
Palkas, once everybody's up and about and everything, he says, "I've summoned a helper. It's a familiar and not a devil. It just looks like one in this environment."
Are there,
And what's that?
are there any things that we could see on her that look slightly different from a normal imp, just in case?
I don't think so. But
Oh.
he says, so he'd have her rematerialize so you could see her, and she'd be standing on his shoulder. Excuse me. And he'd introduce her.
Coyra's eyes just start widening and ask, "Can I pet her?"
and he asks Una if Coyra would mind.
She's your familiar,
Okay.
so I'm not gonna.
She'd take your hand and kind of grab your finger.
Good enough for me. That just looks extremely happy right now. Hey, hell creatures also creatures.
He says while kind of half stroking his beard, normally she would have been a crow.
Normally I would have a red cap, but no one allowed me, so I can't have everything.
See, there's a thing called multi-class. No. So Lulu's up and about? Is Lulu up and about?
Yeah.
She doesn't seem put off by Una, does she?
No, she'll kind of look at her a little reservedly, but when everybody else warms to her, she kind of does the same.
Okay. Okay. I'll bring up her stats on my phone should we need them for anything during the episode, but otherwise.
Do you guys want to fire up the grinder with soul coin? Or?
Like it's that quiet.
Right. So what's the plan?
Are you ready to roll?
I'm ready. Are we all taking the same positions we did before?
Coyra just shouts, grappling hook!
Sounds good.
She has just accepted the grappling hook. Even though it's a harpoon, she's accepted it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be in the same position.
Okay.
Starting to get the seat broken in.
Palkas is at the wrecking ball.
Fitting.
He then says, I think you could actually hit this vehicle with the wrecking ball if you really worked at it.
Why is Palkas in charge of the wrecking ball?
I just think it's a dangerous thing.
I don't think it would be that difficult, and I don't want to find out.
I notice a new lever here. It wasn't here before. It says self-destruct.
Oh, it's like the red button that I have here. Do not touch.
Actually, it seems to have lots of pleases written around it and arrows. So, Lulu, can you lead us?
She says, nobody can really lead you in Avernus, and anybody that tells you otherwise is not to be trusted. She says, but we should probably head in this direction. And she points to mostly to the west of where you are.
Okay, so does that mean we shouldn't go that way because you just told us not to trust you?
Great.
She kind of gets
Coyra
this
just face palms like, oh God, come on.
I mean, that makes sense for Thorn, frankly. He did just say, don't trust anyone who claims to know where they're going.
If Lulu could blush,
She didn't
she
claim
would
to know where
blush.
she's going.
Under her little fuzzy cheeks, she's all embarrassed.
Una's all doing this really exaggerated thinking pose and stuff.
Keep in mind, don't bully the Holophant. She can turn into a mammoth.
That is yet to be seen.
She closes her eyes and looks like she's concentrating.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
I've never seen a holly plant poo before. I don't know that I want to.
Suddenly the demon grinder gets squashed by a big mammoth.
I was just wondering if she was in her normal position on Malvola's lap when she closes her eyes and starts concentrating.
That was a normal position.
Well, that's where she was in the other vehicle when she was guiding you.
She can talk. I mean, it's telepathic communication, so technically not talk,
She's
but I can hear her from anywhere in the vehicle.
Just so you know, if it suddenly becomes wet and warm, you know what happened.
I got peed on?
Well, I'm not
She
driving.
says kind of quietly, well, it's up to you.
I'm running the wrecking ball. That's up to Malvola.
All right, let's go.
Pick a direction and go.
I go more or less in the direction that she indicated.
And Palkas proceeds to tell the group of the items that we looked over during our rest. The helmet, which he gives it back to Grimm. He says, it's likely you can detect thoughts of creatures. and perhaps give them some direction of things to do. But I think you need to concentrate to access the magic of it first.
As far as I'm concerned, one of you can have it. I can't exactly where it and taps the circlet at the same time.
Where did you get that?
The hell wasp hive.
No. The circlet? Oh,
Yeah,
it
kind of came out of nowhere.
remember the guy with the big sword on the nightmare?
Oh, okay.
He had it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and he also had this riding crop thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It might
Which
be
we
magic.
still haven't figured out what the hell that's supposed to do.
My
What do you mean I
familiar.
didn't give it to you?
My familiar has a higher AC than I do. So
Are you really surprised?
I can't say I am.
Everything. That's all.
We found enough healing kits that everybody could have one. So he tries to hand those out as best we can. So everybody has a healing kit with 10 uses on it.
Thorn certainly has no interest whatsoever in a helm of telepathy. The last thing he wants is any extrasensory input from any source.
It's weird enough in here.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the helm made of, Kashcah?
Oh, brother.
Tinfoil.
Metal? Various metals.
Okay. Would it fit an imp's head? No. I'm kidding.
Suddenly the imp is the player and
Yeah,
Palkas
suddenly-
is the familiar.
Yeah, the imp gets all the magical gear. Yep.
Really be interested in seeing him swing that maul.
The imp's like, hit him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, master.
He's next.
Palkas says, Malvola, looks like you've got a new hat.
Okay.
Here, I'm tucking it down the side of your seat here so you can put it on later.
It's just a cup holder.
It's a cup holder.
The most expensive cup holder.
You need to go while you're driving.
Not that kind of cup holder.
All right. And there's a wand here that I think, Coyra, you might like this.
Coyra looks at it and is like, hey, maybe this will replace my quarterstaff. What is it made out of? Please don't say wood.
It's not made of wood.
Magic.
Coyra's like, this will replace my quarterstaff. Most likely, it's not that wood.
So he said, well, I wouldn't hit someone with the wand. It just gives you the opportunity to use magic to attack things at a distance. And you really don't even have to aim.
Then it's really good for me.
Just push the
So,
button.
how do I add the wand? Can someone help?
Hold on a second. I don't know if it's in
Hopefully
there.
it's in the compendium.
Let's see. Magic missile. Yes,
Yeah.
if you look up magic missile in the eye thing, and you'll see a wand of magic missiles.
Yes, okay.
That
Can
is
I
what
add
you now
that
have.
to my item list?
You should be able to just drag and drop it onto your sheet.
Yeah, you're gonna want to drag and
then
drop it.
will hopefully put it in the right spot.
But I need to have my sheet not be on a pop-out window, right?
Correct.
Probably.
So you need to close your pop out and then open it in the screen, and then you can pop it out afterwards. But that should do for you.
That'll do.
That'll do.
I think I added it.
I like the rules that they have set up for that now. But
I have to look at it now.
It doesn't really tell you much on here.
It has 7 charges, and it recharges a D6 plus 1 every day.
Yeah.
And it's just don't run it to 0 or it breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like it's as long as you only use it that much, it's infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Whereas before you'd be like, I need 12 wands of healing, please.
Yeah.
As we're driving, just because, even though I don't expect it to do much, I'm going to take a closer look at this. Like I said, I don't expect it to do much. Take a closer look at the writing prop.
Yeah, you're not really sure if that.
When I can't figure it out, pass it to Palkas.
Okay.
While we're driving, he'll try and figure it out.
Okay.
Would Coyra know about the cast it so many times? If
Yeah.
not,
Palkas would share that with
you.
you and try and, give you the details on it.
Yeah.
Also, it's not appearing in my attack spit. Is that normal?
Because it doesn't require an attack roll. It's literally just you push the button and it does it.
Pew pew.
Okay.
It's kind of a point and click.
So you'll have to create your own if you want it to auto roll when you use it, just for damage.
I'll do that. If I find out the damage. This one? Mm-hmm.
So this Arcana roll from Palkas is related to the writing crop? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Palkas is fairly certain that this is related, directly linked to riding nightmares.
Okay. Palkas would say, this is only used with riding nightmares. The flaming horses. And he quickly gives it back to you. Says something I have no interest in doing if it can be avoided.
I don't know, that sounds like that would be kind of cool.
They're made of fire.
It would have been handy to get up to the nest.
Yeah, but they're made of
but we
fire.
The nightmare before we killed the dude.
Do you keep forgetting they're made of fire?
It burns. It burns.
That's why it's cool.
I'm flying, but it burns.
I mean, so are normal horses, really.
Wait, what? No, they're
Fire horses.
no.
They look like meat, but it's a trick.
Kind of look at it. So how do I activate it?
No. You hit a nightmare with it. No. Real horses are real. They're not fire horses. Here we're in hell and they're fire. So, but they're there. But here they're not. Okay? I'm glad we cleared that up. Okay.
I put on the helmet to try and figure out what the hell he's saying.
You get the idea. He has no idea, and he's really concerned about Thorn.
Yeah, could you make a bullshit roll for me, please, Palkas?
There was no bullshit there.
Me or him?
I'm just kidding.
Let's see, bullshit.
Would that be persuasion?
I feel like it's more deception, actually. You're trying to convince somebody that you know about a thing and you don't.
The horses are made of meat and not fire. I thought that was somewhat okay, just not here.
All right. So, Malvola, you're driving, right? Driving in the direction that Lula recommended.
Yes.
And you have to let me know if you would like to stop at any point. Is there any, aside from like direct kind of contact with another person, living being, whatever?
I kind of get the impression that this is kind of Kansas. Like there ain't nothing there. What's to stop for?
You're comparing Kansas to hell.
I'm sorry, people from Kansas. We don't think that's true.
Some people from Kansas might, though. So I don't know.
So
I was more going for the like it's wide open and flat, and there's not a lot of like stuff.
Excuse me.
I mean, I've seen Children of the Corn.
It is yeah, so it is like there is a lot of flat area before you, and you are driving for what feels like hours and have really seen very little regarding like landmarks or any other activity, and at this point you kind of you have that like road, like, you know, when you're driving in a straight line, what is that road like, where you just zone it?
Highway hypnosis.
Yeah,
Mhm.
highway hypnosis.
Yeah.
You have kind of a
Oh.
bit of that going on almost, you know? It's just like this monotonous landscape. You do occasionally get like blasted by, you know, winds as they sweep across this kind of open plains of Avernus, and it's kind of what snaps you too, as you're like, because it pushes the demon grinder actually. So
Unlike my own car.
remind me never to drive. But at this point, you do kind of like, you get blasted by one of these winds, and you get kind of like, brought back to paying attention to your surroundings a bit more. And at this point, you see on the horizon a plume of dust, but it's cutting across kind of like the corner almost of your vision, like you're heading in one direction and you see the plume of dust kind of cutting across the corner. So no like real interaction, and continue driving, and you see like it looks like the plume of dust you're imagining is behind you.
It's not trying to intercept us at the moment.
No, you just see it moving off in the distance. And a few more hours pass by, and you actually, what you've noticed about the vehicle, I'm going to introduce a little homebrew here, a little kind of GM rolling. What you've noticed about the vehicle is that after you have been driving it for a few rounds, right? You notice this actually when you first start driving it. After you've been driving it for a few rounds, it starts to pick up speed. And it's like...
So it's more than walking pace, you mean?
More than walking pace, yes. High five. And it seems to actually like almost double in speed. And after you've been driving it for like a few minutes, you're pretty sure you're going 3 times as fast as you were the first 3 rounds that you were driving it.
Cool.
And you can kind of keep up that speed as you kind of like race across the hellscape. And so then later you see the plume of dust in the distance, and you'll also see, like a couple of hours later, you see this much slower, looks like a bit like kind of a convoy, or there's a large, it looks like a large group of vehicles or something like that. Like, again, it's kind of in the distance. You can't make out too much detail, but it seems to be moving slower than you are, and like it's either one really big vehicle or multiple vehicles the same size as yours. And it's kind of moving like off in the distance in the opposite direction that you are.
I would get Thorn's attention and get him to trying to think of how to say it. I'm like, are you seeing this kind of
Cloud of dust?
yeah,
Probably vehicles, if that's the right word for these things.
Were you trying to say, what do your elf eyes see? They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Ambush?
What?
That's kind of. I mean, you're not wrong. That's kind of where I was. You know, I figure he's got better eyesight than the rest of us, and he's in a position in the vehicle to be able to act as a lookout. So
It's true.
Perception. Let's see what the DM says.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wow. Elf
Very
eyes
nice.
indeed.
Very nice.
okay.
Kind of adjust your goggles a little bit, wipe some of the dust away, and squint at the horizon. And you're fairly sure you can see 9 vehicles that look like they are connected together somehow. And it looks like some kind of giant caravan thing.
Are we fighting the Constructicons? I just... Because if Devastator comes at us, we're screwed.
So, obviously Thorn hasn't seen the human centipede,
Oh, God.
but
Demonic centipede.
I will try to strip out the Thorn and relay the actual information as best I can.
So there's interlinked vehicles.
It's like a wagon behind a train of horses, except lots of them stuck together.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Just, I don't care about them. I mean, for us. Do you think it's possible they saw us? Are they turning to pursue?
I mean, we're definitely kicking up dust as well.
Yeah, it was looking like they were heading in the opposite direction from us, from what I understood. Did I get that right? I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're heading to where we were coming from, kind of.
Maybe. They're definitely going slower.
And apparently, if they do turn around and try and approach us, I don't think they're going to catch up. Because something is different this time around to driving this thing.
Maybe you got a better grade of soul coin?
Oh yeah, maybe
You've
you're
got the
burning
high-octane
someone
one.
really interesting. You're burning angels! Angel dust!
No, I asked about that. They're not those. There's
Wow,
something
Palkas.
else.
Dark Palkas.
Yeah, I'm all for just ignoring them if they ignore us. The less we have to do with anyone in this, well,
Hellscape.
infernal hellscape, the better.
For once, I actually agree with Thorn.
Oh, really?
It's not as rare as you make it sound.
Yeah.
It's just all the times he objects, he usually doesn't say anything.
I mean, most of the time that he objects, Thorn is already stabbing, so...
Yes.
It's like, The dude is already dead.
It's like, your objection was duly noted. And ignored.
The Van Vampers were begging for it.
Yes, but not... Never mind.
All right. So keeping going then, just ever forward.
While we are
Yeah.
going, Coyra actually remembers something about those trees, that things popped up with our names on it, and she's actually gonna mention it to Lulu and ask about it. If we should be worried at all, or what it might mean.
I mean,
Just in case Lulu knows more.
It's probably just that we're on Zariel's shit list.
Oh
but-
yes, most likely, but maybe Lulu knows more, or maybe
Yeah.
it triggers something in us. We never know. It's good to ask it
That's
about it.
true. It's worth asking, certainly.
So yeah, Coyra asks
okay.
about.
If anyone
How-
gets taken out, we know where to find your corpse.
Mm,
Yeah.
Hmm.
We're getting cold this Yuletide.
Lulu will say, I think that is Harriman's curse. She says, but I don't think there's anything he can do to us now.
Right. You've got his riding crop.
I still haven't figured out how to use this.
You hit a nightmare with it.
So if you have a bad dream,
Palkas' hat
That's how
slips
we get
off and he
attached to
wakes up to
Jesus. I mean the flaming horse nightmare.
So as you proceed forward, what you do see almost directly after seeing the convoy thing is a different plume of dust, perhaps another speck on the horizon heading towards the caravan. This one appears to be going faster, but it's definitely going kind of straight for the caravan. So,
And so we see another one coming, but it was going for what, the caravan that we already saw go by?
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. There's
Okay.
a lot of traffic. I was hoping for empty roads.
Yeah, and that vehicle seems to catch up with the caravan, and then you're not sure, like, you know, what happens after that.
The dust kind of mingles together, so
Yeah, it all becomes kind of one blur on the horizon.
There's no explosion, right?
There's
So-
no giant explosion.
All right. So-
do we want to investigate this or do we want to keep heading toward the bug zapper?
Lulu,
Um,
do you have any thoughts of wisdom?
she says, I vaguely remember a caravan that travels around Avernus, she says, but I don't remember its purpose.
Humans,
it's a shopping cart. It's a shopping cart.
Caravan.
other sentient races.
So it could be like a sales group.
Like a
It's
merchant.
traveling around hell. It won't be selling anything you want unless you want a spleen. Do you
Fair
want a
enough.
spleen?
No.
So
Well,
hell version of Toll
I'll
Rock.
just say not at this time. I don't know.
I mean, it could be like a Termish bazaar on wheels. It's kind of what I'm imagining.
It's going in the wrong way anyway. So that would
My normal pessimism aside, I can't help feeling that we kind of already did the interact with the locals and get out really lightly when we literally sold Lulu's deep memories and soul to some crazy hag and only had to kill one redcap.
it wasn't Lulu's soul. It was just a peek at her dream.
So anyway, that we did well there.
Yeah.
I can't help feeling. I mean, how many hornet's nests do you want to poke?
No more, thank you. I'm
Depends if we're doing donuts around them or not.
none. No.
How many hornet's nests are there?
It's also a good
Many.
Yeah.
question.
Too many.
And are they between us and where we're going?
We can go around them.
Based on looking at the map, they're all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one.
Lousy with hornets.
Hmm. I wonder if you go to heaven, they have like devils on display, like they have angels on display here.
Excellent question.
Anyway, let's.
Does
like
seem
to
his
think so.
curiosity got the better of him.
I say let's skip the caravan. It makes sense that they would like continue moving to while people connect to their moving city of sorts, I guess. And then it probably gives them a relative safety. That or they
maybe.
just don't want to turn their machine off because they don't have many soul coins.
They might sell soul coins.
Mhm.
I mean, we don't even know they're traitors. It might be a squad of those people who grab you and throw you in the military. You know, recruiters,
Recruiter?
forcible recruiters.
Conscript.
Yeah, those people. I know there's a word for them, but like most of my mind, it's riddled with maggots.
I think the word.
So forward?
Yes. At some point, Palkas
Press gangs.
does
Press
try.
gangs is the word.
Ah, press games. Yeah.
Oh yes, does try to like wander over to Coyra, and you know, kind of like starts trying to make a fuss of the imp with Coyra, but also ends up whispering to her, "I don't think Thorn's doing so well here."
You're implying that he was doing well in the other realm? I mean, he just stabbed people.
Yeah, but I didn't worry about his mental health as much.
We'll keep an eye out on him for sure.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
I love how you're acting like this conversation is like calm and everything, when actually, really, you've got like this dust and like everything, wind in your. You're like, Coyra!
Heard about
The goggles are like.
And Coyra is also holding her laugh with the feathers like blowing in
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
They're all like
trying to
flapping
stay
in your
calm.
face.
I'm a mystery, like that it doesn't tickle or anything at this point with the wind and stuff.
Maybe the DC should be higher while you're moving.
For
While
what?
you're in a moving vehicle.
For what?
For your sneeze check.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry. I digress. So you begin to see up ahead of you, seems to be a large body of liquid. And beyond that, can begin to make out these towers with an immense light glowing from the top.
The companion.
And Malvola, Lulu will say to you, "We should go around that lake. We should go around it."
I'm certain that this thing floats. Of
That's-
course, we're gonna go around.
Says, okay.
Looks like a
just check.
rock.
So as you kind of as you get closer to it, it seems to be motionless, and it's difficult to even kind of ascertain like what the liquid is, or what it looks like, because it's just not even, there's like no movement to it at all. You can't tell if it's like thin like water or thick like ichor, or there's just nothing to kind of give you that information. No movement or anything. But you can see beyond it these tower-like structures rise from the ground, and from a distance it looks incredibly like the head and front legs of a beetle, like it's climbing out of the ground, like the mandibles of a beetle, like it's kind of sticking up out of the ground, this giant beetle. And between the mandibles there is this massive ball of light, and you watch actually as you're kind of taking it in for a little while, and then suddenly a ray of light screeches out of the ball on top, and strikes the ground kind of off to the north, and then it all goes quiet again.
The little demon.
Yeah, and I don't. Well, let me know if you're going to stop or anything. But as you get closer, you can see that.
Will that strike our vehicle or us?
I want to give the lake of stuff a really wide berth.
Okay.
I don't want to really get like keep it where I can see it, but I stay over there.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, and you can begin to see that if you're giving it a wide berth, nothing. You don't take any more information from that. And you get closer to the structure in front of you, this giant beetle with upraised mandibles, and you can begin to see that it is looks like it's made from rusted metal. And how close are you going to get to it? Let's ask it that way instead.
I have a hard time answering without knowing, like,
Will you get closer than that poof did? How's that for a start?
yeah, probably. I would.
Oh, do you want like a scale?
Ask,
like how big it is?
I mean,
Okay.
I'm. If I can get an idea of how big this thing is, because if it's like a fortress, then okay, maybe you want to approach on foot. But if it's like the size of a McDonald's,
Maybe we can drive through it. I like it.
yeah,
That
you could
depends
probably
if
drive directly through it with this thing.
That depends if the McDonald's has a play place in it or not, because it could,
That does make a
No,
difference.
the demon baby thing is
Sorry.
the other place.
So the structure itself looks like it's about 60-ish feet, 50-60 feet tall. And the sphere of light that's up in between the towers looks like it's about 10 feet in diameter.
Oh, so it's like a mini companion.
Yeah, and you can you're about maybe maybe half a mile away. You see creeping towards it some other beings, some other life forms, and there's a small group of them you can make out, and they're kind of creeping closer and closer, and then you see the same thing happen as before. It looks like they're about 100 feet away from it, and this screeching bolt of light erupts from the sphere, and it kind of passes along this group, it's blinding almost to look at, and you kind of like squint or shield your eyes a little bit, and when it's past, there's no sign of the creatures.
Maybe we should stop.
I was going to slow down significantly, if not come to a stop and ask, like, how close do we want to get to this, seeing what just happened? Do we want to approach on foot? You know, how do we want to do this?
I'll scout it.
Is there any information that we know about this thing from our studies?
Just a note on the map from the cartographer, which, as a reminder, said, "The purest of souls lures fiends into a hellish trap." Zap. Zap. And the light that is being emitted from this sphere kind of cascades down these rusty tower structures, and it is beautiful. It's kind of refreshing after seeing, like, Avernus is, not pretty by any means of the imagination. So.
This is our destination, right? This is where Lulu said we needed to get to.
Lulu will say yes.
Yeah.
This is it.
So stop about 110 feet out, and I'll go 20 feet ahead and see what happens.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a scout. That's what scouts do, right?
Why don't we have one of Coyra's fuzzies investigate?
Oh, that works too.
They're not the most articulate.
No, but
Well, if they don't get zapped, that's something.
right, and yes. We'll just wait a moment. Welcome back. We are at the tower. We have stopped just short of it, and Thorn was volunteering to walk within range of its laser zappiness, and instead, Palkas was saying, "Why doesn't Coyra just toss one of her little fuzzies in there and see what happens? Just to make sure it's safe."
See, normally Coyra would disagree, but since she knows that the creature doesn't get really hurt, like it's not real, she actually agrees and she'll do that.
Ooh, okay.
Also, seeing Thorn walk to a zappy thing sounds like a bad idea, so...
Sounds kind of confusing to me, but...
So she throws out one of those balls towards it, and... surprise, surprise, it's a panther again!
So...
And she tells the panther to go closer to the structure.
Okay. Yeah, the panther kind of does that stalking motion as it moves forward, and its body low to the ground, and it's looking up at this sphere of light and the structure, and kind of eyes darting either side as well. And it moves, beyond that kind of 100-foot radius where you saw whatever else it was get zapped, and nothing happens to the panther.
Now I'll try. I'm sure it's safe, but just in case.
Palkas would ask Lulu at this point, "Is this only lethal to demons? Is it safe for devils?"
She says, it should be safe for all of us. Says, and safe for most devils as well.
Palkas looks at Una. Maybe I'll just have you come back in a little bit. And he dismisses her, doesn't cancel, just puts her like in the interdimensional pocket that familiars get. And so she just kind of...
Okay.
No, Lulu said should be fine. That's a
I'm
big thing there.
just going to go and stand by the panther. I'm sure it's fine. What could go wrong?
Whatever you do, don't stab it.
Oh, let's stab a panther. They're majestic.
No, I mean the tower.
Oh,
What?
well, all right. I'm going to be 90 feet away. Even I can't stab it from there. And shooting arrows at a metal wall is no fun.
Oh no.
It'll be fine.
The Eye of Sauron focuses on you.
I see you.
Popcorn.
So yeah, you get out of the vehicle. Crunch of Avernus beneath your feet as you walk the 10 feet closer to the threshold of certain doom. Boop, boop, boop. And yeah,
Steal
step
your heart,
across-
Atreyu. You can make it past the Watchers.
you step across that threshold where you've seen other things get zapped, and it seems to be fine. And in fact, you can almost make out the threshold, right? Because it's like this arc, and beyond it, there's these occasional piles of ash.
There's a ring of black dots.
Yeah, the black dots stop at a certain point, and beyond that, it's fine. So yeah, you step inside that threshold and nothing happens. The light
I'll
just
go into a little
cascades.
tap dance routine.
Dee, 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 dee.
If Thorn didn't get zapped, the rest of us definitely should be fine.
Speak for yourself.
Palkas chuckles a little and hesitantly stays further away than everybody else on the way through.
I don't suppose there's any solid items left in these piles of ash, are there?
Oh.
Negative.
I wonder if we might need demon dust for anything.
Mm.
Seeing Thorn go through without issues, Coyra's like, you know what? I'm gonna follow him.
Okay.
And she proceeds after Thorn.
Yeah, you can kind of see his footprints leading up to this threshold where the piles of ash begin. and yeah, step across it and it's fine.
I'm going to experimentally kick a pile of ash or two.
Okay.
Because it sounds amusing.
Yeah, it's the
Like
wind.
leaves.
Yeah, the wind catches it and it flies straight back into everybody else's face. Just
Ooh, I'll do that again.
Happy I follow Thorn!
You get the first to get hit with it.
Shush!
Spicy.
Rotate the harpoon
Huh?
on Thorn and consider.
I proceed, but I stay at least 20 feet behind everybody.
Okay.
I guess I'm setting the parking brake and climbing out.
Okay. So how close are you guys getting to the sphere and the structure? Or are you stopping? You're all stopping at 90 feet. There's just a little line of you at 90 feet.
It's beautiful. Does I know how tall the structure is. Is it like wide as well? I mean, I see an image of it on the screen, but I mean, does it look like it has an entrance or anything like that?
You don't see any sign of an entrance or anything from here.
Coyra actually whispers to Thorn, what was it they were doing here again? I kind of forgot.
Lily thinks it might help. Or something. I don't know. I'm following
Okay.
Palkas. Just follow Palkas.
Yeah,
Palkas
that's
seems to
what
know
I've
what's
been
going
doing. That's how I've been doing it already.
Palkas is all
That's
like,
been
just
working
go
out, I
ahead.
agree.
Just go ahead.
on.
It's worth asking the question at that point.
Well,
I was going to ask if I overhear that question, but seeing my role, apparently I'm distracted.
This
Coyra
light
is a good
is so
whisperer.
beautiful. Such a beautiful light.
Palkas says, well, we're here. Lulu, do you have any other information, or shall we just start looking around?
She says we should start searching this, or at least examine it.
All right.
What's the perception check for, Grimm?
Well, to see if I overheard the conversation.
Ah, okay.
And Grimm doesn't really say anything. He just starts chuckling after the whole just follow Palkas. He knows what's going on.
I mean,
kind of
knowing what's going on,
wanders
Coyra
ahead.
disagreed with.
I mean, compared to
following
Coyra
suit.
and Thorn,
And Lulu will flutter up there with you as well. She kind of hear the hum of her wings as she defies gravity and moves forward with the group.
Palkas says, Lulu said that we should investigate it further. She doesn't have much more information to share right now.
okay, let's see what we can see. Look for ways in or things that stand out or
The
anything
reason
like
that we went to the last place was because we were looking for where Zariel's sword was hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out that was a mistake of, like, I thought that was somewhere else kind of mistake.
Yes, but she also said that this would help lead us to the sword.
And that's the reason that I was pushing for this location. If it's something that destroys demons just by being here, it seems like something that a celestial sword would do.
Mm.
So Lulu will answer you actually and say, but this is not Zariel's sword. She says this is something entirely different. And she's kind of focusing upon the glowing kind of sphere of light up in the structure.
Coyra actually, sorry.
Oh god, sorry.
Okay. Coyra actually goes like, I found something! Never mind, it's just a pile of dust.
So Thorn, is that perception check for checking around, like looking around?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll see, like, as you're looking around, yep, certainly these towers are just rusty metal structures. But you kind of like shield your eyes, squint a little bit at the sphere of light, and there's something in there. That's not just like the sphere itself that's producing the light. The sphere looks like it's holding something that's producing the light.
something or someone.
And definitely you can see it moving. It looks like a large creature.
How climbable does this structure seem to be?
I mean, it's not particularly smooth. It's not like slippery or anything. There's some kind of, yeah, you feel like you could find handholds.
Malvola, you got the tinfoil hat of mind thingies, didn't you?
Oh, maybe I can.
Can you try seeing if you can make any contact with the thing? There's something moving around in the light. I'm guessing it's a big angel of some sort who hates demons. Can you have a go at making contact? Or Lulu, can you have a go at making contact? You're telepathic.
From what I understand, this is out of character, I need to attune to that helmet.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had an opportunity to do that.
Right.
He's been busy driving.
That makes sense. We like driving. Driving is good.
You'll see Lulu kind of she looks up at the sphere of light, and then you see her whole face like kind of scrunch up. Like, she's like, oh, the torment. She says, there is certainly a being in there. She says, and her whole face is like scrunched up. Says, their name is Mooncolor. And is there any way that we can release it? Says,
Certainly
it's
try.
been trapped there for an age.
Okay, I'm going to try to find a different spot that might be more climbable.
Well, climbing is athletics, right? Not acrobatic.
Okay, either way.
Okay. Yeah, you can kind of start some progress going up the structure. Not super
As
fast.
definitely as I hoped, but
You probably got like 15 feet up.
and it's 60.
That's a good idea. Let's have a go.
Basically, I'm going to keep going until either I fall or get to the top. I don't know how many more rolls you want me to make.
So, well, it depends how well you do. Do another one.
Okay.
Let's see what the result. Okay. Yeah, you try to make some progress forward and actually just end up kind of holding on because you almost slide off.
Dang it. Okay, try some more.
This would have been so easy if we were one level higher.
So I take it you're just going to keep trying until you
Yeah, I'm gonna keep
succeed.
trying to make my way up to where the light is.
Okay.
Blind myself in the process.
Okay. So what's everyone else doing? You see Grimm kind of start making his way up these structures. While he's doing that, what? I know, Thorn, you're going to try and climb as well?
Well, I rolled a 9 for my first effort, so I figure maybe this one's a bit beyond Thorn.
Okay. How about everyone else?
Coyra is still looking around in the. At this point, she started looking in the ash piles if there's anything of value that can be found in those piles.
Kind of
And she's good at spotting ash piles, apparently.
poke around and then with with your foot you can kind of move some of the ash out the way of a few of them, but you don't find anything.
Palkas is hesitating outside of the radius.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Everyone else is like
Mhm.
100 feet in. And
He's kind of like walking the edge of it and stuff, and he's just like kind of feeling really. He's having a little question in his mind right now, considering that he just summoned a familiar and it was actually a devil. So he's just hesitating, but he's also keeping an eye on the vehicle at the same time, so he feels justified at the moment, but he's also trying to convince himself to cross the edge.
What about you, Malvola?
I'm kind of taking it all in as far as this thing. I want to do like a walk around and just get an idea of, is this like a magical structure built to control this thing, or is this just something that came up around it, or the chicken or the egg kind of thing? Was this built to trap whatever's up there, or did this form because that's here?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can walk around. Is that a tiny demon grinder parked like that? Sorry, I just noticed.
Maybe.
So it's even got the chompy jaws. So you're going to, so you walk the perimeter, and it's actually really difficult to tell which, like, if this was purpose built or they just took advantage of a structure that was already here. It definitely goes kind of deep into the ground. You can see, like, in some places the dirt has kind of fallen away a little bit, and the structure is going further down than just like at the surface, so it looks quite deep. In some places the hole is quite it kind of goes quite deeply, and you actually can't see where it ends. Like, it turns around the corner of the structure and you can't see the bottom of this kind of hollow that's beneath or around the side of the structure. And there are like a couple of kind of smaller bits that are sticking out as well. It is just rusty metal. Though there's nothing kind of you don't see any particular difference in the structure from various sides or areas of it.
I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss as far as anything I could try and do.
Okay.
Palkas grits his teeth and takes a step into the area.
Nothing happens.
And he's like, and he proceeds to just walk forward and sees Grimm trying to scale this almost impossible surface, and just kind of waits, seeing him actually make very slow but steady progress.
Yeah, Coyra actually starts watching it too and starts thinking, what if I would have become a creature that could fly and just fly up there? But she's not gonna do it. She's not gonna ruin it for Grimm.
So yeah, Grimm, you seem to be getting the hang of this now, and you're able to make progress up the structure. The light that's being given off of this, it's almost like, oh man, it feels like a warm sun on your back. Oh, it's actually like really kind of comforting feeling. Like, man, you could just like imagine laying out in this, maybe like, cool
Like a cat.
beverage at your side and just relaxing. It's very light.
Comfort in hell.
You just set out your cardboard box and curl up in it,
Imagine the structure as a tree. The cat climbs up the tree, try to get him down.
Yeah, while he's got sun on him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as you get kind of close, it's almost difficult to look at because it is quite bright. But from this like distance, you can clearly see a large animal is inside this sphere.
Can I tell what kind of animal?
It looks four-legged, almost like a horse, almost.
Oh no.
Oh shit, don't you dare use that crop.
Well, you shouldn't have given it back to me. I mean,
I'm sure all you have to do is tap the sphere with the crop and
Nothing
I'm
bad
just
could
kidding.
happen.
Coyra actually asks Lulu, why is it trapped in there?
she says, it looks like the devils are using it. She says,
Using it to zap demons?
yes.
So if we would free it, does that mean demons are suddenly free to roam around?
She says, well, I think they're roaming around as it is, but I think that, if we free it, it won't kill them anymore.
Coyra just looks at the vehicle to see if it's in a safe distance.
about how far up am I at this point?
You are about like 45 feet up.
So close enough that I could start looking to see how, if I can determine if there's how this thing is trapped, like what's holding it in place in theory.
Yeah. The sphere is not attached to the structure directly at all. The sphere seems to be magical in nature. It doesn't actually look like it's a solid, kind of tangible item. It looks like it's almost like an aura instead of a part of the structure or anything like that.
So how is this thing being held in place? That's
Magic.
yeah, no kidding.
Palkas
I don't
asks,
know what kind of roll I'd need to make to even attempt to figure out how to disrupt.
You could make a intelligence or arcana.
Sorry.
I think we found Grimm's dump stat.
Yeah, it's it in charisma. Wow. Okay.
hey.
Flash of brilliance.
Either damaging the sphere or damaging the structure you think would disrupt, whatever is going on there.
Does any point in the structure seem like it would be better than others, or basically I'm trying to figure out, I'm probably going to have to climb higher.
So the structure is definitely gets narrower as it gets taller, right? And it has, as it becomes like these mandibles as well, it gets quite thin. As it sinks into the ground, it's obviously at its largest diameter. Trying to say that without anyway.
This could be okay. This could be really interesting and could be damaging to me.
Of course it will be.
But kind of keeping hold with one hand and bracing feet and try to pull the katana and try to slice.
Okay. Make an attack.
My hand, of course.
Are you slicing at the structure or at the sphere?
The structure.
Okay. Then make an attack roll. Because it does have... okay, so you're able to kind of hit it in a way that your katana doesn't just bounce off the metal. And you do a little damage to that spot.
Meanwhile, Katana's like...
Does that metal vibration thing.
Let's try striking at is the aura or whatever close enough that I can strike it?
Yeah. The sphere. Okay. So it looks like you're gonna hit it, right? It's a big inanimate object, but your katana bounces directly off it. There's a boom. It's lucky it's blunt on that side.
From the ground, you hear, "What the hell are you doing?"
Testing things as I swipe at the metal again.
Yeah, you're able to connect with it in a way that will do damage.
Palkas says to Lulu, so if he's able to break free the creature that's up there, is it going to fall down and die?
Lulu says, I have no idea.
I ain't gonna try to catch it.
He's like, do you have a way of saving yourself and it if the structure starts to collapse?
Sure, catch it when it falls. As in, you guys catch it.
Coyra just takes one step back, just for safety.
And that was
Jesus.
the structure.
Yeah, that certainly connects in a way that will do damage. Okay, yeah, you do some more damage to it. I mean, it's like you're kind of chipping away at it, you know, like this thing is a big ass metal structure, right? And you're doing damage to it, but doing like little kind of. Feel like you need something beefier to hit this thing with.
Coyra just looks at the others and says, "Seeing how long this will take, anyone wants to take a quick break?"
Make some sandwiches, you know. Get the picnic.
Palkas says, "So,
blanket.
Malvola, do you think you could back this thing up?" And he points over to the vehicle, to the structure.
I think I see where he's going, and Malvola just grins. He goes and climbs back in the driver's seat, and I don't know. Do I need to drop another coin for that?
Hang on 1 second.
It's only been a couple of minutes, if that.
30 seconds at best.
No, it starts right back up again.
Cool.
Not knowing
Okay.
what they're doing.
Palkas says, "You might want to come down from there."
Take another swipe at the sphere itself.
Oh, the
See if
sphere. Yep.
Does any
Boom. Your
with
blade
a
just.
roll like that? It just bounces off.
Yep.
Yikes!
So Coyra, kind of. Maybe I wait till Thorn gets back. There's something about to happen, and you and Thorn will see it first, I think. Wait, Palkas, where are you in this? You're
Just inside the radius.
okay, and Thorn and Coyra kind of at the bottom. Malvola's heading back to the vehicle.
Yeah, I'm facing the opposite direction, and
Okay.
my attention is on other things. So
Yeah. Another thing Coyra was gonna ask Thorn is if he had any broken arrows. While we wait, she can try to mend some of them.
Oh, I don't know.
So I'll ask him.
Oh.
So
Okay.
before you do anything.
No. Yeah.
Why do I suddenly have the feeling they've got front row seats to Grimm's death?
Hi. Coyra leans over to Thorn and actually asks, "Do you happen to have any broken arrows? If so, I can give another attempt at mending them."
Yeah, I have two. Thank you. I shall pass
What
them
roll
over.
do I need to do for that?
I don't think you do anything. I think mending is.
As I thought we established, since it's dead wood, Coyra tries, but there's a chance she cannot mend all of them.
Here, hang on.
It's been a while, so I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I just know that Coyra could not mend all of them every single time. Like, she tries, but some of them are just like, "This is dead wood. Doesn't work." And
Yeah, you're able to mend them all this time.
okay,
I'm just gonna
She
do
has-
like a percentage roll.
that's fine.
Okay, so Thorn and Coyra at the bottom of this, standing, looking up at Grimm, and mending arrows. You see, from kind of, kind of. Hang on 1 second. Let me get it. Rising, it's almost like they're rising out of the ground, from kind of around the corner of this structure. As here, I will show you the handout. They don't have this weapon in their hands, just so you know.
Oh. You're just saying that because you know that there would immediately be a bunch of hammer envy going on.
So they rise kind of out of actually one of the large holes that Malvola had seen before, that where he couldn't see the end of it. This entity rises out of this kind of hollow in the ground, and kind of is hovering right up above the ground and comes around the corner and says, hang on 1 second.
How now, brown doll?
Oh, jeez.
Says to both of you, well, you see them cast, actually, first. They cast a spell, and then they say to both of you, he should stop that.
And just as they say that, just because I'm cantankerous, that's at the structure.
Okay. Yep, that
Coyra
does damage.
already had thought about if it's a good idea, and she just looks at the creature that popped up and she's like, yeah, I agree, but I don't know how to stop him.
She says, who are you, and why are you trying to destroy this?
I'm Coyra and I have no idea exactly why he's trying to destroy it. We've just been sent here to look for something.
Palkas is still yelling up to Grimm. Would you get down? We're gonna use the wrecking ball.
Coyra just face plants. I wish I could explain more, but I have no idea what's going on either.
She shouts up, because I take it neither of you communicate up to Grimm.
No.
Okay. She shouts up and says, if you value your life,
Oh, shit.
you should stop this activity. I am the keeper of this place, and you will not destroy it.
Upon hearing that, Coyra actually asks her, what exactly is this place?
Oh, it is a demon killer, for sure.
I take it Palkas is aware of this creature now.
Oh, what was that? Sorry. I don't know.
What did you say?
I had said I take it Palkas is aware of this creature now.
Yes.
She shouted.
Yes, she
Yeah,
did
yeah.
shout. And
Okay.
yes, she does have this kind of bellowing voice.
He
also
kind of like signal to Malvola and yell back at the vehicle. Yeah, he'd be like,
Oh, right. It's not right now.
Coyra also asks
If I stop,
Creature,
will you free your prisoner?
She says, I don't, that is not in my contract.
Coyra also asks the creature,
Sorry.
what is the prisoner? Who or what is he? And or it? Why is it prisoned?
It's a Rapidash.
Jesus.
Sure, it's a ponytail.
Coyra is just curious at this point what this whole thing is.
She says, you have yet to answer my question.
I answered it.
Who are you? I understand your name, but what are you doing here? Why are you trying to destroy my structure?
So why he's just trying to destroy it, I have absolutely no idea. We've been sent here to look for something. I don't know what we're looking for exactly. Maybe some of the others know, but I honestly have no clue what we're looking for. All I found was ash.
She, so not kind of getting the answer that she's particularly interested, she kind of starts ignoring you, Coyra, and starts, kind of like, floating up. She just rises up, and Grimm, she's now face to face with you.
Oh, hang on. Like, that's 45 feet she's got to rise up.
That's true. It is like,
That's got to take more than 6 seconds.
Oh god.
Oh boy, here we go.
I don't know that it will, actually.
When
Well-
she starts ignoring Coyra, Coyra just takes a few steps back and goes to the panther.
Okay, what do you guys want to do? She's turning
Okay,
away
I'm
from
not
you.
actually
And
firing, but I am knocking and training an arrow on her. And the first sign of doing anything unpleasant to Grimm, I'm starting to shoot.
okay, all right. Yeah. So she's kind of turned her back on you. You knock the arrow, and she starts flying up, and she's gonna double move up there, right? So she can get there within that round if you want. To break it down, and Grimm, she's kind of face to face with you, and I did record that last damage, by the way. And she says, "What are you doing?"
That should be obvious. I'm trying to free your prisoner.
This is not my prisoner. I am just as much a prisoner here as they are.
You're in charge of this structure, correct?
I am bound to this structure.
Then
I am
free the prisoner.
obliged. It is not within my power to do so,
Then whose power is it?
she says. She kind of stops for a moment. Zariel's. Why do you feel obliged to free it?
Because it is neither devil nor demon.
Do you want the wrath of Zariel to descend on you and on me? As the keeper of this structure, I will surely be punished.
I so wish I was part of this conversation.
Well-
I just
Would you allow a brief interjection?
Yeah, go for it. This, like,
Palkas
this
would
kind
have
of
approached Malvola, assuming
loud
he would have
conversation.
stopped the vehicle, and been like, "There's an entity just
There's an entity."
arrived, claiming to be." Well, he sees it's got no bottom half, no torso. So there's an entity arrived, claiming to be the keeper of the structure, and is claiming we need to stop it. It seems intelligent. Come, I think the others may need us.
okay. I will disembark the vehicle.
Okay.
In answer to your question, considering my long-term goal is to find a way to prevent El Terrell from being dragged down here, which is part of Zariel's plan, I've already got her wrath.
She says, "You look like a little human to me. I doubt Zariel even knows of your existence yet."
I'm not human.
She says, "You look like one to me."
Oh, we all look the same to you, do we?
She says, "Zariel does not know who you are."
Just a really hairy human.
She says, "Look, I would like this creature to be free just as much as you would. But there are consequences to your actions," she says. "Perhaps we can find a different way to accomplish what you're interested in."
I'm listening.
She says, "If I was no longer bound to this structure, I could help you in this endeavor. If you can free me from my binding, then..."
The structure doesn't exist. Are you still bound to it?
She says, I am bound to this place, so yes.
This place as in Avernus? Or the hole that this building would be in?
She turns to Grimm and says, can we at least descend and have this conversation?
Palkas yells up, can you come down now?
She says,
It took me a little while to climb up here. I'm not particularly wanting to climb again. And that's the insight. The insight is to see if I can even remotely trust this being.
oh, okay. So
or whether or not I believe what she's telling me.
So she seems to have plenty of motivation to keep the structure in one piece.
So how are you bound to this?
She says,
making no move to climb down.
Okay. She says, I am bound by my agreement with Zariel.
And how would we go about freeing you from this?
She says,
if we were so inclined.
Is
Put a lot of holes in Zariel.
What was that? Sorry.
I said we could put a lot of holes in Zariel.
Somehow I don't think that would work out too well.
Yeah, we really couldn't.
So she says, I do not have the answer to this.
Can you come down?
Why does everybody want me to come down? Jeez.
We could use the wrecking ball if you'd get off the building.
She kind of like turns. And Grimm will, she just departs your company and just flies in a direct line to Palkas.
I was talking to Grimm.
She says, are you the leader of this group?
Oh, crud.
Yes, it's all him.
Palkas kind of points at Malvola.
Don't look at me.
Okay, at the risk of starting a fight by doing this,
Oh, crap.
make the comment, we're not done talking.
Are you
And
going
try to hit the structure again.
I'm going to hit the structure. Okay.
No, I'm not going to directly strike at her.
Okay. I was like, okay. Yes, you hit. Okay.
Hey, building multiple.
Attention back.
Yeah, she's just ignoring you and flying down to Palkas.
Well, that's gonna end bad.
And she does, say to Palkas, are you the leader of this group?
No.
Clang.
Grimm, calm down.
She says, you will not be using this machine on this structure.
I'm just trying to convince him to come down so we can talk. Grimm! Once he gets something in his mind, he really goes to work with it. Most of the time, it's a really good thing, but sometimes it's less than a really good thing. I'm Palkas. That's Grimm. Grimm! You don't seem to be particularly violent. Are you going to attack us?
She says, it is not my intention. My name is Ralzala. I am the keeper of this. And she kind of gestures to, the tower behind you.
Did you imprison that?
She says, no, this has been here for much longer than I have.
Do I know what she is from my studies?
Yeah, you're pretty sure she's some kind of genie.
Does that make her a devil?
No?
My wishes.
Okay.
No. Completely different.
He says
She looks more elemental in nature.
He says, I don't understand why you're here.
She says, as I was telling your friend, and she gestures up to Grimm, I entered into an arrangement with Zariel. She says, I did not realize it would bind me to this tower, but it has, and now it is my responsibility.
What are the terms of this arrangement?
Grimm!
Please be specific.
You can swing the wrecking ball.
Oh, stop cutting! Oh, wait, that's terrible thought. He'll never be born.
She says, the arrangement is irrelevant. What's relevant right now is that your friend up there needs to stop damaging my tower.
Irrelevant, my foot. You asked us if we can somehow get you out of this arrangement, that you'd be willing to assist us.
She says, no.
I can't get you out of the arrangement if I don't know what the arrangement is.
She says, no, I did not ask you anything. You asked for my help in releasing the creature at the top of this tower. Says, I agreed to potentially help you in this endeavor if you find a way to unbind me from this tower. Says, this has nothing to do with my arrangement with Zariel.
Except for the thing that's binding you to the tower is your arrangement with Zariel. Once again, I need to know the details of the arrangement in order to figure out a way to get you out of it.
She says, it is not relevant. She says, all you need to know is that it was regarding a competitor of mine. She says, Zariel...
Keep swinging, Grimm!
Zariel offered to help me, and I agreed to watch over this tower. I did not know she would bind me to it. I cannot even leave. I am just as much a prisoner as that creature you are so desperate to free.
So are you saying that even if...
Is it because I'm not bright and fluffy you do not wish to release me?
We're
Wait, it's
trying
not
to
gonna
help
be
you, and you won't
to
tell us
understand
how.
what it's gonna take to release you, dumbass.
Palkas says, it's not a good idea to call her a dumbass.
She turns her back on you and starts flying back up to Grimm.
Oh.
You hear Coyra shout after she said bright and fluffy, like, wait, it's bright and fluffy in there? Release it!
Palkas says, just remember, Zariel was tricked. The entire city was tricked. There's a lot of people that have been deceived in this.
In Avernus.
And that's a magical creature, not a devil. Or a demon.
At this point, Grimm actually has sheathed the katana.
She says, I am shocked to find that you are the reasonable one. She says, look,
Who said anything about being reasonable?
She says,
Sacred flame against the metal.
She says, please stop that and let's talk.
Do is reason with her.
I'm seeing if flame will work better.
It seems to do some damage, but not as much as you would expect.
Reasonable.
It made a dexterity save.
How is it?
The tower's like...
She says, I can make an introduction for you.
Introduction to who?
She says, to a very powerful person here in Avernus. She says, "What is your goal here, aside from making my life miserable? Why are you in Avernus? Perhaps I can assist you in this way."
Can you stop Outtro from being pulled down into Avernus?
She says, "Not personally, but I do know someone who can."
To do that?
Yes, they can.
What's an Elturel?
Hey, she knows what she can and can't do, and that's not a thing she can do. So it doesn't matter what it is, she knows she can't do it.
And who is this person?
She says,
Individual entity.
She says, "Perhaps," she says, I do not know if I can trust you." She says,
Well, back the truck up while she's distracted.
Palkas is just staring up there. The fact that Grimm stopped swinging, he's actually pretty surprised at this
she's
point.
kind of frowning at you like she's trying to decide if it's safe to share this info with you.
About the charisma of a rock, so trying to convince you.
She says, "I do not know if I should tell you this." She says, "For all I know, you may march off to Zariel and tell her. And then I would be dead."
We're gonna tell her something, all right.
You can trust one thing. I want nothing to do with Zariel if I can avoid it. She turned her back on her responsibility. Therefore, she's on the wrong side at this point. And the fact that she's trying to drag an entire city down into Avernus, yeah, that makes her the enemy. So the likelihood of me going to tattle on you to her, pretty much nil.
She says, "You know, in Avernus you will eventually have to do business with some devils, right?" She says, "You cannot linger here and expect to never interact with them."
I prefer not to linger here very much longer, if possible.
She says, "I can make an introduction for you to a devil who can aid your cause." She says, "It will be necessary at some point to do business with them." She says, "Who you do business with is an important choice, and I agree. You should not do business with Zariel." She says, "Please stop destroying my tower. Stop damaging my tower. Allow me to make this introduction. And if you aid me with breaking this bond, I will help you destroy it, and we can release the creature together. And then I will be released as well." She says, "Everybody wins, except for Zariel."
That's because we have to pledge our lives and souls to some demon prince. Sorry, devil prince. I beg his pardon.
Not sure how much I believe this chick.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff that she's holding back, right? Like she's not.
So I turn to Palkas, and so she's saying, "Be real careful who you do business with down here." She's trying to do business with us. We're complete strangers to her. She's not following her own advice. I have a really hard time thinking that that advice is worth anything.
Palkas says, "It sounds like you're describing me. But go on."
She says,
You like at least like ask a question and get an answer.
She says to Grimm, "I do not wish to engage in combat with you or your group. Says, but if you continue to damage my tower, I have no choice. Zarya will surely kill me if this tower is destroyed. What choice do I have?
Palkas kind of just goes.
She says, maybe
You can leave the
better.
tower standing.
I think we should try to set her free as well. We found 2 prisoners here, not 1.
Where would this introduction you're offering take place?
She says, well, she says, I will provide a written introduction for you. She says, especially unless you free my bonds, I cannot possibly introduce you in person. She says, and perhaps that is what we should focus on. If you free my bonds, then I can be released. This creature, and she motions to the giant sphere of light behind you, this creature can be released, and then we can arrange introductions.
And how exactly are we supposed to release your bonds?
She says, I do not know, but I know somebody that does.
She knows a lot
And
of
who is
people.
this somebody?
She says, she gestures southwards, and she says, beyond those storm clouds, there is an oracle. Her name is Red Ruth. She says, go and speak with Red Ruth. She will divine a solution.
I should ask at this point, because we've kind of been acting like we can. Are we able to actually hear this conversation?
It has got, well, if you're back at the vehicle, no, you cannot.
No, I mean, we would have walked back up to the Thorn and Coyra, I believe. I mean, that was the whole idea. I got Malvola, and then we just walked up to the group.
Okay. But there was also talk about Malvola backing up the demon grinder while she wasn't looking, so I don't know, like...
Alright, I intend on being at the base with Thorn and Coyra. How's that?
Okay. Then you can probably hear the majority of it. Maybe not like word for word.
Okay.
But yeah. Especially when when the wind picks up, it's becomes more difficult to hear what's going on. Makes this horrible whistling sound around the metal.
Okay, so I'm not immediately going to act on every word that's said or anything like that, because I really can't hear most of it, but I can hear some of it, and I'm getting kind of the gist of what's going on in a way.
Out of curiosity, does she seem uncomfortable being this far up?
She seems like she's like when the wind picks up, it's like, oh god, like she's not, yeah. It's not super fun to be this high, and it's not super fun for you either.
Or to stay up here as long as possible.
You both get a bit sandblasted, right? So
I've been getting sandblasted because I've been riding in an exterior seat.
That's true.
I'll make this much of an agreement with you. I'll leave off for now. But if I find out you played us false, I will come back and find a way to tear down this entire structure and take you down with it.
She says, as a gesture of trust, then, she says, I will share with you the name of the archdevil who I would introduce you to. His name is Bell.
Bill? His name is Bill.
Bell.
Really?
Bell.
Bill
Bell.
Newman.
Does this
Bell. Bell.
Does this name actually hold significance for those that studied?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh god.
See, I was trying to avoid making jokes like that, but
Oh, I dive right in.
If you'd seen Gravity Falls, you'd know the horror of the film.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. I'm like, don't trust the triangle. It's evil.
probably not with that roll. But
It's not really like a religion.
it was the closest thing I can think of.
Oh, alright. And yeah, she shared this with you. I don't think, like,
The rest didn't.
you know, yeah.
Okay, we don't know. Got it.
45 feet up. That's real quick before I do something crazy.
Yeah, I just realized what you're going to try and do. He's a cat man. Do that thing. He's going to grab on the side and do like a cat does. On the way down.
Except for sensitive feline ears.
She says, so Ralzala will say to you, if I could leave, I would have gone to the Oracle myself already. He says, but I cannot leave this tower. I am a prisoner here.
Well, one good thing about it, you not being able to leave, means if I find out you've played us false, I know right where to find you. And with that, I kind of let go and drop.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check. Or are you just going for, like,
Well, I can.
the Superman landing and sucking up the damage?
He's doing the monk thing.
If it would be technically 4.5 d6. I can soak up to 25 points of damage.
Okay.
Basically, I could drop enough distance that up to 25 points of damage would be negated.
Okay. You want to do an acrobatics check anyway? See how cool your landing is?
Superhero landing.
It's pretty
I
cool.
mean, he is a cat.
It's true.
What do you
Yeah.
expect?
Perpetual motion.
One of
Strap
these
button
days you're
close
going to
a cat's
dislocate your knee doing that.
back.
If I live that long.
3-point underworld vampire jumping off building landings.
Alright, and Ralzala will float down to meet you on the ground.
She wants us to go visit Red Ruth, the Oracle.
Do you know of this oracle, Lulu?
Lulu shakes her head.
Did she even say where to find it?
She says, I am standing right here, and I said to find it over there.
Oh, I didn't see you. So you're talking to me again.
Well, you were quite rude. Oh, no, it wasn't you. It was you. You were quite rude to me before.
What kind of creature is this oracle?
She pointed out when she said quite rude.
Yeah,
Malvola.
Coyra was just kinda ignoring her since Coyra got ignored by her. It's like,
But just said that we're on the same page. I've already warned her that if she's played us false, we're going to come back and destroy this whole thing and her with it. Or at least I am. You guys can join in if you wish.
Okay.
She says the Oracle lives in a kind of a forest. She says,
They have forests here.
I said
I'm not exactly a fan of the kind of trees that they have here, so...
Right. Oh, of course.
yeah, the last trees had our names on it.
She says, these do not have names on them.
Oh, that's a benefit.
Well, if we're going, though, it probably won't be long before they do.
She kind of like looks at you in a like not understanding kind of frowny way.
That's the spirit, Palkas. We'll get famous here.
So this oracle lives in a forest.
It is a sort of a forest, yes.
What do you mean with a sort of a forest?
Well, as your friend so astutely pointed out, trees do not really grow in Avernus.
Yeah, that's what I realized too.
Yes.
That's why she likes it here so much.
I mean, I like living wood. Dead wood, though, that's a different story. It's the
See,
essence
she's
of
really
pure
weird.
evil.
She says, Red Ruth has been here for longer than I have. She says, but many people travel to her for her divinations. She is very well known.
What will it cost?
She says, well, this is what you must discuss with her.
We won't find out standing here.
What is Red Ruth?
Red Ruth. Sorry. It's like, you can only resist it for so long. Wait, what was the question? Sorry.
What is Red Ruth?
She is an oracle.
What is her species?
I've never met her.
How did... What?
I know, I never met her.
Right.
Everyone knows her, but she's never met her.
She says, it's not like she leaves her forest, and it's not like I can go there.
Is she a devil?
I do not believe she is.
But how do you know her if you never met her?
Everybody knows her.
We don't know her.
You don't know her.
Ah.
Yeah, so
She says, that is obvious.
You don't have to be rude.
She says, I thought the same thing.
dude.
When your friend there was so rude.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That's just the way Grimm is, you know. We don't try to change him, we try to accept him.
And we can just go. And I start heading back toward the car.
He is
Yeah,
quite
could-
childish, isn't he?
Come on, Grimm, let's go.
Before Coyra goes to the car, she just says, "Don't mind the panther. He will leave soon."
We could take the panther with us.
She says, it has been a very long time since I have seen a beast like this.
She might eat it. Let's go. Come.
I mean, she's gonna eat nothing.
Bring
It's
your
gonna be
cat
nothing.
with us.
We already have a cat.
Oh, God.
She says, I would not eat such a magnificent beast.
If you want, you
Okay,
can
here's all these
keep.
insults flying. As I walk away, scream.
Jeez. You're really difficult to get along with sometimes, Grimm. You know that.
Well, Sala seems unfazed by it. People do that all
Coyra
the
just
time.
asks, if it would mean anything to you, the panther can keep you company until it disappears. If not, we can take him with us.
She says, is it not your panther?
We can trade the panther to Red Ruth, maybe.
Let's just go.
All of them.
Okay.
It's hard to explain whose panther it really is. It comes out of a magical tiny ball of fur,
Oh, okay.
It's its own panther.
but it can keep you company if you want. Else, we'll take him with us.
Shotgun.
She says,
What's a shotgun?
head beyond the storm clouds. She says, you won't be able to miss Red Ruth's forest.
Any other directions? Forests often are rather large.
She says, there is a clear entrance to it. Never fear, half-orc.
Okay, Genie. He just says, let's go. And he just kind of starts walking away. How far can you travel? Can you, like, cross the area where this...
She says, no.
Right. And he just walks away. Gets in his position on the vehicle.
I'm going to wait until last to depart. And before I go, I'm going to say, we're the Mist Wolves. And that one with the green hair, he's the boss.
Jesus.
She says, Mist Wolves. I have not
well-
heard of you. But,
Oh, you will. You will have. And then I'm going to leave.
okay.
Well, technically, she has now.
Yeah.
But I mean, she seemed to be really worried about who we were, and no one actually told her. So that's who we are.
I mean, I told her I was Coyra.
I know, but she didn't seem to think that was a good enough answer for some reason.
I know,
I mean,
right?
it seems to sum it up to me.
Okay.
I mean, maybe you should have told us something grandiose, like, we are the avenging warriors of light who have come to open a burger concession or something. I don't know.
Because that's totally what we are.
The Avengers.
You do realize that
Minus the burger concession.
got this group together was a robbery.
Yeah. So,
Well, most of the
having
group.
a burger company makes good sense.
It was perfectly justified. It was a corrupt official that was stealing from the poor neighborhood. They had it coming.
So that was the lie they told you?
Shut up. Get in the car.
So depending on if
Smuggling stolen goods for 120 years or so.
the genie wanted to keep the panther or not, depending on that, the panther stays there or comes with us.
She's kind of admiring it, but she won't she won't express any opinion on whether she wants it to stay or not.
Coyra just says, listen to the genie. And she goes in the car and lets the panther stay there.
Okay.
Very wary about expressing anything that could be taken as a request or something that appears to be offering any sort of deal.
Once they're out of earshot, Palkas says, "What in the world was that about?" Do we just get...
I gave up worrying what any of this was about. At about the time when we got to the mountain with the trees full of dead people and it all went wrong. You know, it's all fine. Just roll with it.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
what's wrong.
it seems like Zariel has a non-devil or demon protector of this tower bound here.
Servant is a servant or something.
Just makes me wonder. And he has Una reappear on his shoulder, being outside of the area. If
So why?
they can't trust anybody to protect it, so somebody had to be contracted to do it and forced against their will.
Greatest piece of advice I know about devils. And they are one of my areas of personal study as opponents to slay, is that they're tricky bastards and you can't trust them on a thing.
So if we're going to see Red Ruth, we should anticipate it could be a trap.
Always.
Of course, it could be a trap.
All right.
Malvola is having an impulse control moment.
Uh-oh. That worries
The
me.
radius of this beam from the thing is 100 feet.
Yeah.
I can outrange that easily and shoot across that line.
thought did occur to me as well.
Well, she
But-
could probably also just hide
She might
underground.
also know Eldritch Blast.
Doesn't mean her magics can't reach outside of it. I mean, you saw she can fly. She's a genie. I've not messed with one before, but I've heard bad things about those that have.
I hear things about genies.
Mm-hmm. So,
But if you want to take it down, just let me know. I'm all in. Obviously.
she could be an ally in the end. I don't know.
Doubtful.
She's pure evil. It's the nature of Jinn. They,
I mean, they're capricious rather than evil, aren't they? I mean, yeah, sure, they're evil, but it's not like they're not evil in the same way that devils are evil or demons are evil.
no,
They're not interested solely in causing destruction and pain.
devils are, organized, and you can reason with them. And if you make an agreement, they will live to that agreement. Demons are just destruction. That's all they want. That thing is just, for lack of a better term, being an a-hole for the sake of being an a-hole. That is their motivation in life. And
But
she's
you-
enslaved, so she has no real reason to not be an a-hole to everyone because she doesn't really have because she's screwed in her own position.
You say that, but normally druids like wood and wooden things, yet I'm a druid that has a disliking towards wood at certain moments, so not everyone is the same.
It's true, I've got green hair.
Not an applicant comparison.
Well, even if we don't have a way of helping Ralsala, maybe this oracle can help us.
That is a good point.
It's worth giving it a try.
Let's
At
go.
very
Worst
least,
case, we
maybe
come
the
back and
sword
smash the
can tell
place.
us where the sword is.
Yeah.
Then we can go back and deal with the genie and knock down her tower.
Shall we
Yeah.
go to the forest?
Let's- So I guess we're heading to the demon forest.
Also,
It's not
You know,
a
nothing
demon
bad can happen
forest.
there.
one thing that I feel slightly wrong about, did Lulu not warn us that anyone that claims they know the way is lying?
This is why we're anticipating that they're probably telling a lie. But at some point, we have to find information that will
Blue.
help us to locate the sword.
We should just be prepared for whatever happens.
Now you're catching on. Let's go to Hell Forest.
Find the Red Roof Inn.
Yeah, I made that joke 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, it didn't
Now
click
we're just
until it was
sharing
actually
it with
said.
the world. Now it's out in the open. We freed it. So, back in the vehicle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Palkas has Una take the shape of a raven.
Una tries and fails.
Oh. So she's an imp that can't shape change. Okay. Now,
At least not here.
today I learned. Okay. Off we go.
Okay.
Of course, if Malvola wants somebody else to drive so he can attune that helm,
I would be down with that.
the question is, who wants to drive?
I'll drive.
Uh-oh.
So who wants to drive?
No casting while I'm driving. I got it. I won't cast and drive. Don't worry.
Anyone? Any volunteers? Anyone at all?
I just said I'd drive.
I'm too busy looking for the 5-point harness.
Yeah. Having Coyra cast Entangle in the back seat so that we're all,
Firmly.
Yeah, so when the demon grinder goes off the cliff, you're just shit out of luck.
on this thing that easily. I mean, you're in that situation anyway.
What could possibly go wrong? There's no way in hell that this could go wrong. Oh wait.
All right, I will.
You get to swing the crazy ball.
I'm not sure that's the right term to use.
Sure it is.
Giving him a crash course? Come on.
Who's got the map, by the way?
Thorn.
I know.
Thorn, you kind of feel like maybe you could look at the map and see what there is over in the direction that you're headed.
Just a few hours ago, Palkas was
Ocean
lecturing
of
me
fire.
how the map was completely useless and really just like a picture of some things that you might happen to spot, and everything moved around all the time. But what the hell?
It's a bar napkin. It's not like a map.
No, it's a map. It has all the locations, tons of information on it, but none of them actually have roads that interconnect. That's all.
And may not be in the area of the map that they are pictured.
That was certainly what I took from it. That these were locations that were in hell, but everything changed all the time, and it wasn't so much a map as just a picture of some things you might find floating around the hellscape if you happen to go by.
Mm-hmm. Maybe then it's more of like a memory of looking at the map before and remembering that there was a note from the cartographer that did kind of, now you know that there's kind of an oracle there. The note from the cartographer really makes sense. So it's maybe just like kind of a memory of that. Nothing specific on the map.
Something I'm looking to roll.
So the note isn't a review of the inn?
1 star.
The beds were lumpy. Continental breakfast stunk.
That's the least of the problems, though.
The food tasted like ash.
Yeah.
No, it's pronounced ass. Sorry.
He just
Who told us where to get here was a really rude genie.
You write on the map, rude genie. With a little All right. So onwards, back in the vehicle,
Oh, hell yeah.
heading forwards.
Mhm.
focus driving.
Did the map say anything about
Else we have.
the oracle?
The map, does have a note from the cartographer about the oracle. It says, your future is written in your blood. She'll open your veins to paint the story hidden in your heart.
Oh, fun.
I like painting.
I might have dated her for a while.
Family.
It reminds
Wait,
me of
what
my
was
ex.
What did you say there, Tim?
Today we learn about Thorn's
Thorn-
love life.
Thorn
Or...
said I might have dated her for a while.
It's not Ghostwoods love life. Then that's all right.
Pedal to the metal.
So you head into wait, Palkas is driving?
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit. I'm just kidding. So Palkas, you are point the vehicle in the direction that
He's seriously like driving like this. Teeth gritted, he's got the tusk on. He's,
Driving like,
5 mph. Right?
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it is like that, but but we can still.
Oh, that's the thing. The handles are like this. He's grabbing onto the tops of them. You know?
And the direction that Ralzala has pointed you, the sky is especially dark over here, and there are these occasional kind of flashes of light, and then beyond that you can see something kind of the ground on the horizon is dark as well.
Is it like over here
Hang on, sorry, I moved away.
on the left side of the map?
Totally wasn't looking at a different map.
I see something that looks
Yeah.
like a foresty bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So are you going to accelerate, Palkas, or are you going to continue at the normal pace?
Wait, why would I accelerate? Sorry.
Sorry. So maybe let's talk about this for a second. So I've added in, because going at walking pace in a vehicle like this is, in my mind, ridiculous. So I haven't added it to the Demon Grinder sheet, but I want to add a mechanic where the Demon Grinder can go at a speed that is worthy of the name Demon Grinder.
Okay.
So how I would like it to work is for if you continue movement, right, without slowing for 3 rounds, then the speed of the Demon Grinder doubles.
Okay.
If you then continue that movement for 3 minutes, then the speed of the Demon Grinder triples.
Okay.
Okay. So
Pedal.
this one, you know.
Or, I mean, lever.
So are you going to go fast?
Double
go fast?
forward. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Okay. So yeah, so acceleration of the vehicle picks up, and you speed towards these kind of storm clouds on the horizon. Oh my god, that's so cute. So I'm just watching way zoomed out, and I'm seeing this tiny little like. So you're traveling again, and I mean, it's actually, you're kind of beginning to feel the toll of the day, right? You've all been driving for a very long time to begin with to get to the tower, and now you're back in the vehicle, and it is just kind of like has that weird way of being exhausting, and you are beginning to feel the toll of the day as you travel beneath these storm clouds, and it does. Oh, and there's no sneezing. That's good. And there's several. It looks like there's several hours of journey ahead of you. And there's this time there's no sign of any other activity. Before you saw some other vehicles and the convoy caravan thingy, you see nothing this time. It's just this kind of stormy area and this darkened kind of patch of what you can only imagine is this forest ahead of you. And you drive for several hours. Oh, excuse me. And
Palkas was going before, he was like, now he's more like.
The adrenaline wears off, and so you begin to see kind of this darker patch that was in front of you develop into a slightly more detailed visual of what definitely looks like some freakish kind of forest, right? Doesn't look like regular trees, but a little bit difficult to see from this distance, but something is a little odd about it for sure. And you can see, what you can see as you get closer and closer is that the trees are very dense. But you do kind of see as you come into sight, and tell me if you want to stop at any point, but you can see an opening in this forest, and
Excuse me.
you can also see that the sides of it kind of stretch around, right? So you feel like you could, like, it's not just a wall in front of you, right? Like you could skirt around the edge of it, but you can see an opening as you get closer.
I'm looking for it's an obvious entrance.
Well, there definitely isn't one that the demon grinder will fit in.
Oh.
But there...
Yeah, it's obvious when you approach from the air.
yeah. So are you... I don't know, how do you want to approach this area?
I guess I would start slowing down, seeing that I wouldn't be able to fit through what looks like the obvious entrance with the vehicle, and calling to the others and saying, "What's that?"
Do these trees appear to be made of wood, or are they more of this like demon metal crap?
I don't know. They're not that close yet. But I would start slowing down and saying, "I don't think I can fit the vehicle through the opening. What do you think? Should we try going around or park here and walk in?"
I haven't seen any kind of obvious entrance yet, so I would say keep going.
How big does this forest look?
So it looks here. Hang on. Let me do this. The part that you're seeing is at least like 200 feet wide.
Might as well do a run around it then. Doesn't sound. It's not going to take very long to do a perimeter sweep.
Okay.
So let's see if there's a space where we can get through. If not, then we park up and walk.
All right. I won't go maximum speed. I will slow a bit and go, because I'd already started slowing down. I would continue that and try encircling and see if there is a better way of getting in with a vehicle of this size.
Okay. So you, as you get closer, right, to kind of have a look, what kind of distance are you maintaining from the forest?
Probably 100 feet.
Okay. Right. The trees, you can see from this distance that the trees are, you see how dense they are.
Mm-hmm.
It looks actually like it would be difficult to walk between the majority of them, aside from the clear path that, is person wide kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you also see that the trees are warped, right? They're not like they don't look like any tree on the material plane. They look like they're warped and corrupted.
Okay, so they don't look any different from the rest of the landscape. Got it.
And you, from 100 feet, you can see that there's a lot of vine on them as well, and the vine looks a little bit weird. Like it's not like a green leafy vine or anything like that. It's there's some other kind of material that it's made of, but you're not really able to see what that material is from 100 feet away.
Eyes on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I'm describing this for like the whole group.
Coyra is actually trying to figure out if this is nature or not nature. But like you said, from 100 feet, it's not easy to do.
It doesn't look like anything you've seen on like the material plane, but it doesn't seem man-made either. or it doesn't seem constructed. It does seem like it's growth, but
It's natural for here.
That's probably true.
okay. So you're circling around this. Well, it's more like a wood, right? Because forests are generally a bit bigger than this. You're circling around this kind of patch, right? And you see, here, actually, let me count. One moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see a total of, wait, hang on, what's that? Yeah, total of 4 other entrances besides the one at the front that you approached, that lead into this kind of viney, warped tree mess, but none of them are big enough for your vehicle.
Would we be able to see far enough down any of these paths to see if anyone looks more favorable than the others?
Not really. They seem to, it's like, yeah, I mean, the trees are very closely knit, and some, like a couple of them you saw proceed, and then you can see like a pathway goes off to the right and off to the left, and some of them go around corners, so you can't see like a clear, path, like right to Red Ruth's house or anything.
Then I start looking for the entrance that would be closest to a place we might be able to obscure the vehicle. So if we park it, basically it's not just going to be like, oh, let's park this right at the opening, and then all the other travelers that come to visit the Oracle go, look, a free car, and just pop in a coin and go. If there's any cover
Kind of
available.
what we did after they dispatched the previous owners.
No, we didn't just like walk up. I mean, this was spoils of combat, not hey, somebody left a thing sitting here.
They started it.
I didn't learn the car alarm spell. I'm sorry. So.
Slacker.
So there isn't really a lot of, and you can kind of park it behind some rocky outcroppings, but it's not going to hide the vehicle completely, right? There aren't like any boulders around big enough to park this thing behind.
I try and find the, whatever cover I can, and if there's some loose ground about, then I might, decide that I can, magic the ground up a bit to try and create a little bit more obscurity.
Okay.
So I'll try and find a spot to park, and then I'll say this is as good as it's going to get. I find no other entrances.
Okay.
And then I stop the car.
All right.
And I proceed to get out. And then I start magicking some dirt up to try and cover it, or like obscure vision, not cover it.
Once we get close, Coyra actually tries to look at the forest again, tries to figure out if she has seen anything kind of like it that could resemble the same thing, or just read about it since she's involved with nature. So maybe she's just gonna look if she can figure something out about the forest.
Okay.
Is it a nature check?
Yeah, do that, and I can. Oh yeah, okay, cool. So the vines look like they are made of bone, actually. Like they look like they're like a calcified kind of structure, They look quite bony. And the wood itself, the trees, look like at one point, with your 20, at one point you think these trees were natural, and that now they have been like warped and corrupted, and they actually don't look like they originally belonged in Avernus at all. that you think originally they were probably somewhere else, and that this wooded patch, has been transported to Avernus.
So Coyra realizes to the rest, like, this place isn't from here. It got corrupted by Avernus. No idea how it got here, but it doesn't belong here.
I'd guess it was a contract gone wrong. Or, in the case of the devils, perhaps gone right.
So from the outside, you can see this. The trees are warped and corrupted and just twisted in ways that trees are, in the material plane are not. And just kind of covered with these vine-like structures. Vine-like growth that is, just obscuring vision between the trees even. It's so thick, like the trees and the vines are so thick you can't see through like this forested area. And I think let's see, as you kind of approach the entrance that you've parked closest to, it does look like it's about 5 feet wide, and you can see that actually, like ahead of you, the path leads in. Oh, sorry. And then kind of bends around to the left, but you can already see that there's a turn to the right, and it just looks a bit maze-like. It looks kind of like the paths look winding, and it doesn't look like it's kind of, the paths do not look like they have any kind of organization or direction. They're meandering and don't seem to be logical at all.
Coyra actually feels kind of at home, basically, like as if she could try to figure out where we have to go. If she really wants to try, like, this is her place, basically.
Okay.
If you turn into like 10,000 ants,
And as you kind of step towards the entrance into this wooded area, you can begin to see more details on trees that are further in the wood. And you can actually now see, and this might change your mind, Coyra, you can now see calcified corpses partially merged with the trees and covered with fungal pods that feed on blood oozing through the overgrowth. And yeah, here and there, narrow paths wind deeper into the wood. And maybe I have a handout. Hang on 1 second, let me see. And I think...
Coyra just goes like, this is not normal.
Palkas says this is what's going to happen to El Terrell.
Yep, and that's why we should prevent.
This is kind of a...
It's going to turn into a forest.
Well,
Yeah.
the
Well,
transformation.
Wow,
The
this place is
corruption.
really trippy.
Yes.
I'm kind of thinking this might have been like a test run, like to prove that whatever they did to pull El Terrell down would actually pull something prime material into this place.
And I think actually we will save the path into the forest for next week. Could be kind of tricky, maybe. So let's do that. Save that for a full session.
Okay. Well, thank you once again. Thank you, Kashcah, for...
Oh, thank you guys for playing.
For the game. Thanks, players. Thanks, viewers.
Yeah.
And tune in next week. Find out what happens with Red Ruth the Oracle at the center of the forest of
The Red Ruth Inn.
calcified critters. Yeah. Will we survive this strange quest we've been sent upon that we also suspect is a trap, so who knows?
It's a trap.
I don't think we will. Anyway. I'll be casting lots of wild magic spells. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.